Universal comes to Grimm and proposes to make a sequel of Wanted the movie as a game, we get really enthusiastic here at Grimm Barcelona. We bring up a really talented team at OneSeas. We wanted the team to work as close as possible with the movie production to be sure that we get the feeling of Timur's creative visions.
We actually met with Universal and looked over the script before anything had been started to be filmed or anything like that. When we started shooting in Prague, we were actually on set watching the actors go at it, and that gave us a true inspiration to make this game action-filled and full of backstory as well.
When we first approached Grin, we saw some of the next-gen games they're working on right now, and we were pretty much blown away by them, so it was kind of like a perfect fit. Universal, Grin, Wanted. Some of the benefits with making a game based off the movie is that the world is pretty much built for you. So you have a storyline, you have the characters, you have assets, and you're working with all these professional people, so it's like a big playground for the developer.
Really, in terms of doing a film to a game, this was a no-brainer. I mean, if you look at the big action sequences that happen and the way that we could sort of translate those directly to a game, it made it an experience that every gamer would want to have. Timur has created such an amazing world, and one of the things that we really wanted to do was get the player into that world so that they could experience it just like the viewer sees it in the film, but actually be able to play and manipulate things.
In the movie, you can see Wesley trying to retrieve information from his past, know who he is, know where is his father, what happened to him. In the video game, we try to do something similar. So basically, Wesley will search information about his mother.
There's a message in our script. The message is that the obedience, the blind obedience to rules, can lead to disastrous situations.
You have two main characters. You play with Cross, you play with Wesley. So that allows us to create some interesting situations in which you're playing in the past with your father, and that explains some of the blanks that the movie story has. And also create some compelling situations, gameplay situations, in which you, for instance, there's one level in which you're defending Wesley Baby when he's just a child, playing as Cross, which is a very emotional situation. You're defending yourself in the past.
So we try to mimic that evolution that Wesley has in the movie. You start the game like just as a standard 3D action game, shooting at enemies, getting into cover, trying to kill them, aiming and shooting. But then you get those special, unique abilities from the movie, like curving bullets, slowing down time so you can really see where are they, kill them really easily.
Acting for 5 minutes like Janice doesn't make all our lives miserable is the hardest work I'll do all day.
Another thing that we thought that will be really useful for us for the gameplay experience was that Wesley in the movie breaks the fourth wall and directly talks without respect to the audience.
Who's the man?
We just try to mimic that on our game and just give him that kind of fuck you attitude.
I'm the man.
The killer suit represents the final step on the evolution of Wesley into the biggest assassin ever, the Killer. We created it especially for the fans of the franchise, and it looks really cool.
So we really wanted to offer to the players a collection, a band of really colorful enemies you are going to love to hate.
Most of them are based on shooting and taking cover and shoot from a distance, but some others break that rule and makes you play in a different way. Fast assassins are melee combatants that approach to you and stab you. But also we have elite enemies, which are tougher, they have bigger guns, and they deal much more damage. So these enemies are a real pain in the ass.
For this project, we've had quite a few motion capture shoots. We got our team of animators to take the action and, using traditional techniques, exaggerate the movement. So taking the anticipation and exaggerating it and putting more aggression into the hit within the close combat, and we're very pleased with the result. There's a shot in the film where the train carriage is falling down and the character Wesley is climbing up the carriage. So within the game we were hoping to emulate that, but we're going to be using a plane instead of a train carriage, and that presented quite a few technical challenges in the motion capture.
One of the big locations in the movie is the Chicago fraternity. So we obviously were very interested in trying to put some of those locations into the game. The shop floor is one of the big action sequences. You actually get a chance to also go through that in the game after Wesley has gone through it in the movie. So you're going through the destroyed version, which is very interesting. The library really stuck out to us as a very interesting location, so viewers of the movie and players of the game could make the connection between the two. So we have really tried hard to go in and get all the detail from the movie to model it down to the exact detail. The Loom of Fate room in the movie is actually a forbidden place. Nobody except the leader of the fraternity is allowed to go in there. But in the game, the player's allowed. So you actually get to go really close to the Loom of Fate and see the room with your own eyes.
A gunplay sequence breaks down into several parts. The first thing you have to do is assess the situation and try to figure out what position you have, like the amount of enemies, what weapons they have, what cover they have, is there any way around them or above them. The second part is to, of course, get into the actual combat. Features you can use there is, of course, the blind fire feature, which enables you to control your enemies a bit. Key to this game is to move around and try to get good angles. You shouldn't be exposing yourself to too many enemies at the same time, because that's going to be very, very, very dangerous. So it's more like a chess game, or there's some tactics in there. You don't just move up to cover and sit and shoot. You have to actually, work with your environment, work with your enemy, work with the weapons you have, and also work with your own skill set.
One of the unique things that you can see in the movie is the ability of Wesley to perform curved bullets. So he can shoot any enemy around, even if he's hiding behind an object or a wall.
Opens up the game a lot. We tried to do this to increase the depth, basically, of the game, and not only have a cover mechanic and then some shooting.
This is really fun. You see an enemy hiding behind a cover, trying to avoid your bullets, and then you just, bam, curve a bullet and game over for him. Bullet explosions allow players to curve 2 bullets at a time. So when they collide, they just create a shower of splinters and kill some enemies around. Timur, the director from the movie, was really excited when he saw this for the first time. When you kill enemies in the game, you get adrenaline. With it, you can slow down time, jump out of a cover, and in the middle of the air start shooting at their heads without mercy.